Hello fellow grower, I'm back again and welcome to my channel, The Late Grower. Now I have several buckets of soil here, as you can see. Okay, and these are spent soil. You see, it's the end of season for some of my plants, peppers, tomatoes, and garlic in particular. So I have now used soil. Over there, you can see some of the plants that I just pulled out from their container. Okay, so I have here spent soil which I intend to recondition. Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how I recondition my soil. Okay, it's a simple process that you can also do with your spent soil. Now, there are recommended ways on how to recondition your spent soil. One of the more popular is by baking the soil, and that is by exposing it to extreme heat in the oven. No, that process would kill all the possible bacteria that are in the soil. This is especially true if your plant suffered from a disease caused by the soil. So baking the soil is recommended by a lot of experts. But in my case, baking the soil is quite a tedious process, and also I would say even expensive. So what I do when I have a soil that I believe is disease laden, what I do is just to expose it in the heat of the sun. So in exposing in the soil, the used soil in the heat of the sun, I use this galvanized sheet. Okay, this is a galvanized iron flat sheet. So I just lay it flat on the ground, and I put the soil on top. The size of this is about 3 by 8, 3 feet. Sorry for the noise. Motorcycles racing again. Now the size of this flat sheet is about 3 feet by 8 feet. So it can accommodate several containers of used soil. Now, what I do is I expose the used soil in the heat of the sun for a few days, turning it every few hours to make sure that the bottom portion would be exposed to the heat of the sun. Now, by using this flat sheet, the heat of the sun is amplified by this galvanized iron. So it also helps in killing the existence of possible bacteria in the soil. Okay, but before I do that, what I do is first to strain the soil, no, to put it in a strainer so that I can remove all the unnecessary things such as roots. No? The roots like this, although they are tiny, they took a lot of time before decomposing, and it is not advisable to use a soil that has many roots like this, especially if you're germinating seeds. Okay, if you're transplanting plants in containers, there is no problem having these small roots here. Eventually, they would also decompose. Now, this is the strainer that I made. It's small, very handy, lightweight. I don't want to use a big strainer because normally I do my gardening alone. I do not have an assistant in most instances. So I built only a small strainer that I can use by myself without having any assistance. So what I do is I put the spent soil on top like this. Supposed to do this with my two hands, but since one hand is holding the camera, please forgive the, I would say, even clumsiness. Okay, now what I would do is I would just shake this. I have the basin at the bottom. Okay, so to strain the soil, and those bigger things will be left on top. So here I can remove those things that I don't want to be included in my soil. And the result will look like this. It's more refined already. Okay, absent most of the roots left by dead plants, such as these ones. Okay, so this type of soil, after being reconditioned, can also be used in germinating seeds. Now, how do recondition the soil? After straining the soil, the next step would be to add vermicast. Okay, now some growers, when they recondition the soil, they use the spent soil. They add some potting mix, also coco peat, and compost. So it's like 1 part each, 1 part used soil, 1 part potting soil, 1 part coco peat, 1 part potting soil, and then 1 part of compost. Now in my case, my soil, my used soil already has coconut coir, okay, and also carbonized rice hull, or CRH as we call it. So what I'm going to do right now with this used or spent soil is to just add 1/3 of vermicast. Now you can add more than 1/3 if you want. Uh, some suggest that you add 50% vermicast to your spent soil, and this would help a lot in providing the nutrients needed by the next plants or seeds that you will try to grow into in this soil. So in my case, I just use 1/3 of this vermicast, and that is how I recondition my soil. And also, before I put the vermicast, as I mentioned earlier, what I do is to expose it into the sun for a few days to make sure that the pathogens would be killed off. Now you just have to mix it well. Make sure that it is properly mixed. Now this new reconditioned soil can also be used in germinating seeds. Okay, as I said earlier, you can do 50-50 if you want, because since this is a natural fertilizer, it is an organic soil conditioner, there is no harm that can befall your plants. No, it has very low NPK, 1.89, phosphorus 2.49, and potash is only 1.40. So very low in NPK. There is no danger of burning your plants, even your seeds. Actually, your seedlings would love this mix of soil, CRH, coconut coir, and vermicast. Okay, so now this soil is ready to be used again. Okay, so if you have spent soil, there is no need to throw them away. Although some people, what they do is to buy new soil, potting mix, garden soil, or whatever, and create a new mix. Uh, there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, it is ideal. But if you're like me, who want to save on a lot of money and also make use of what I have at the moment, then this method can also help a lot. It can recondition your soil and be used again and again and again. And you can do this later on using the same procedure with your new plants. Okay, so this is it for this particular video. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in my next videos. Bye-bye!